Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu, everyone at Ramadan Radio. Welcome back to our final installment of Fit for Ramadan with me, Jehad Shamis. You are listening on Ramadan Radio, 87.9 FM. We are also online at ramadanradio.org and streaming on Facebook as well. If you have calls, text, messages, feedbacks, questions, etc., the number to use is 077 614 60614. That is 077 614 60614. Alhamdulillah, we are nearing the end of Ramadan, and we always say how quickly it flies by, but subhanAllah, it really has gone so quickly this year. I pray that everyone has had a beneficial Ramadan so far, and we shouldn't lose hope that even if we have fallen short in any of our ibadah and anything we wanted to do and our goals, that we still have a couple of days left, and Allah can really put a lot of barakah in the remaining days of Ramadan, and we should really keep striving and pushing forward past the finish line, inshallah. We shouldn't slack. As normal, we start with the hadith that we have kind of picked, which talks about health and well-being and being strong, where the Prophet ﷺ said, this is from Sahih Muslim, the Prophet ﷺ said, a strong believer is better and more beloved to Allah than a weak believer, and there is good in both. This is part of a longer hadith. But this particular part here, we wanted to emphasize that, it's important that we as Muslims are strong physically, mentally, spiritually, psychologically, etc. The sessions that we've been talking about here on Fit for Ramadan are centered more around the physical aspect of strength. However, there are obviously connections with mental and psychological aspects as well. We are very happy here to have our final guest on this series of talks, Brother Ishmael from I Am Fitness. He is a friend of mine as well, and we have done some work in the past. He is a personal trainer. So today we're going to be talking a little bit about his experience as a personal trainer, how he got involved in it, some of his clients, some of the work he does, his schedule during Ramadan, and maybe some tips that we can take with us post-Ramadan to maintain our health and fitness. And if we're lucky, he's going to be giving us a couple of short demonstrations of very basic but easy fitness exercises that we can do that doesn't require any equipment at all, inshallah. So Brother Ishmael, welcome to the show. Jazakallah khair. Assalamu alaikum. How are you?
Wa alaikum salam. I'm fine, thank you. How are you?
Alhamdulillah, very well, very well. Thanks for joining us. My first question, I Am Fitness. What does the I Am stand for?
So when I came up with a name, I was sat in the accountant's office, and it was like, pick a name for the brand. And I was like, I don't know. So I just went, okay, the first two letters of my name, Ishmael, and then Marty. Marty being my mom's surname. So then that's it. It just stuck with that. So alhamdulillah, can't complain.
Sometimes the biggest brands and logos and things just come out of thin air, right?
That's it, definitely.
Alhamdulillah. Alhamdulillah. Tell us a little bit about your background and how you started as a PT. Tell us what PT stands for those that are not aware, and how your journey started into the world of being a PT.
Okay, so a personal trainer, or PT, stands for personal trainer, which is basically you help people to exercise and achieve their exercise goals. A little bit about me. So I'm originally from Ghana, but I was born and bred over here. I was studying psychology at the time of becoming a personal trainer, and it was almost by accident. So what happened was I was playing American football at the time, and then I was in the gym. One of my coaches wrote me a workout plan. I was in the gym, and a guy comes up to me, and you know how it is in Britain. Someone comes up to you, you just don't talk to them. You just say no straight away. So anyway, he comes up to me, and I'm like, no. And then he said, oh, listen, wait. So I was like, okay, cool, go on. And he said, do you want to be a personal trainer? And I looked at him like, are you joking? And I was like, yeah. And he said, look, and I was like, okay, cool. What do I need to do? He said, look, the government's got a new sort of scheme where they're sort of paying for people to come into personal training and they're going to pay for it. And all you got to do is you've got to come to do the course for, so my course was 8 weeks, but other people have different lengths of courses. So I had to do an 8-week course. And then after that, yeah, you become a personal trainer. So then went home, thought about it. And I said, well, I'm into sports. That's what I want to do. The psychology is going to link into that anyway, because that is also something I want to do in the future. So I think that's a beautiful sort of link together. And then lo and behold, became a personal trainer. And so throughout the rest of my time at university, and whilst I was doing my master's, I was personal training and playing American football at the same time.
Excellent, excellent. So how long has it been now that you've been working as a personal trainer, and that has been your kind of career livelihood?
So I completed my course in 2016. I kind of did a couple of sessions with some friends in 2016, but I officially started in May 2017. That was when I found a gym, and then I've just been in that gym ever since. So what's it now, 4 years? Coming up, yeah, 4 years.
MashaAllah, excellent. Tell us about your clients. I mean, I assume you've got Muslim, non-Muslim clients, men, women. What is the kind of demographic that you have, and how do they come to hear about you?
Okay, cool. So the area that I'm in is Croydon, so that's quite a diverse area anyway. And the gym that I'm in is quite diverse. So I have a mixture of Muslim and non-Muslim clients, but I do find that I have a few more female clients compared to male clients. I feel like that's to do more with confidence in exercise and training. I do have, alhamdulillah, I've got quite a few Muslim clients, Muslim sisters and Muslim brothers. So it's a nice sort of mix and a nice overarching demographic for me out there.
Do you need to, I guess you need to treat every person individually in terms of what their requirements are and what their goals are. What's the kind of protocol when someone comes to you to start personal training? What type of process do you go through with them to get them going?
Okay, so first thing we've got to do is we need to know what their goal is. What are you trying to achieve? So everyone is different. I mean, for me, I've decided to specialize in weight loss because I feel like that's quite personal to me. You know, being when I was younger, I was overweight and I had to overcome that challenge. So a lot of my clients are sort of, that's their goal. I do have a couple of clients that want to sort of get bigger or become better athletes as well. So the first thing that I would do with a client is have a consultation. So we'll go through like that one session, we'll talk to them, get to know them. I use some of my psychology as well. So there's a technique called empathic listening, where you listen to what your client wants and you just shut up, let them talk and help them, and to help and understand them better, because otherwise you can't get them to where you need to be. Once you've done that consultation, I then go away, think about a plan and a plan of action and a program. So I think of a session plan, which is what we would do with me. So like a supervised workout. And then I also give them some homework to do as well. That is complementary with the work that we're doing. With the idea that they can spend more time outside of our sessions, getting that exercise done, and obviously looking at their food as well. I do work with a nutritionist as well. His name is Danny Webber. I'm just throwing that as a shout out. And he sometimes helps in and gives in some nutrition plans out there as well. So it's a nice sort of overarching holistic approach that I've taken to fitness and health. And mental health is a big thing as well for me. So I find myself utilizing some of the techniques I learned during my master's.
Yeah, no, for sure, definitely. I think mental health, you know, in the last 5-10 years has become a major thing, and more so with the COVID pandemic. A lot of people have been affected, you know, psychologically, mentally as well with the lockdown. How has your work been affected during the lockdown? Did you see a spike, or was it kind of, you know, it went downhill a little bit? Because although many people's work was affected badly, a lot of people actually had a very good turnout because of the COVID situation. How did that affect your work as a PT?
Okay, well, so when we had the original first lockdown last year in March, that was when like nothing was allowed to happen. So at that point, I was able to retain a few clients sort of through Zoom and online. So I kind of had to shift my business model slightly. And then a couple of months later, they decided to allow personal trainers to go back out into the parks. So I think there was a rule of 6. at that time. So what I did is I had some clients outdoors that I trained, and I also had a kickbox fit class. So I was also running that as well with a limit of 6 people. And then after that, alhamdulillah, bit by bit, more and more people started saying, no, I want to do personal training. I got more and more clients. And then it built up nicely until when the gyms opened, then I had a nice sort of influx of clients again. And then after that, we had the second lockdown. But luckily in that time, even though it was raining and the weather was a bit bad, I was able to maintain some of my clients outdoors. And then now we're back into the gyms again. Alhamdulillah, it's starting to pick up again. So I thank Allah, I can't complain.
Alhamdulillah. Let's talk about training in Ramadan. In the earlier shows that we did, we kind of joked about, when Ramadan hits, we have what we call Ramadanitis, and we suddenly become very weak at everything, and we've got no energy, and we're tired, and but when it comes time to eat, we're ready to go. How do you think, has that been something that has been a feature in your clients? How has Ramadan affected your personal training, yourself, and then also with your clients?
Okay, so in terms of my clients, like I said, I got some Muslim clients and some non-Muslim clients. When 3 years ago, I had one Muslim client. She used to train with me, and we used to just do like 30-minute sessions during Ramadan. We used to do 1 hour normal time, and then when Ramadan came, we did 30 minutes. But over the years, she got fitter and fitter, and this year we just did the whole hour. We've been doing all sorts of things, kickboxing, circuit training, everything, and she just kept going through it. So I think the key with Ramadan training, if you're Muslim, is to train before the sun comes out. When I mean the sun comes out, I don't mean sunrise, I mean before midday. If you can train before midday, you're not worried too much about the heat, because when the sun comes out, you might not be tired in the workout, but the heat from the sun will dehydrate you. So by the end of the workout, by the end of the day, you're tired. Everything else that you needed to do for the day, you're finished. See what I'm saying? So the key was to work out my clients, those clients who are Muslims, before 12 o'clock. And if you can't do before 12 o'clock, then just before iftar time or after iftar time is perfect. Now, in terms of myself, that's something that I learned from 2014 during the World Cup. I used to be like, no, I'm going to go train. So I used to train out in the sun, and then I'll come and I'll be finished for the whole day. I used to fall asleep during all the matches. So then I changed. I said, okay, let me train after iftar. After iftar, I need to eat. I need to go to Tarawih, because as you know, during the summer, the time between iftar and Tarawih are too short. So I said, okay, fine, no problem. Sure. The year after, I used to do it in the mornings. I used to train in the mornings, and I'm like, that's the winning formula. So then, ever since then, I've been advising people, if you're going to train during Ramadan, don't neglect your training, but don't also go hard. Don't try and be a hero and get that world best or your personal best, so that you can, feel better. Just exercise and maintain muscle or maintain your fitness. After Ramadan, go hard again, no problem.
Yeah. Is there anything to be said about, definitely early morning training, like you said, is good. How about just pre-iftar training, maybe 45 minutes or half an hour before iftar, when obviously the body is maxed out, you're at the end of the fast. I've heard in certain places that's a good time to really burn a lot more calories and things like that, because then you're about to eat and you can replace those calories straight away.
Yeah, that's exactly it. Yeah, so just before iftar as well is a good time to train, because you can just, like, 45 minutes before the workout. That's really and truly, that's all you need for a workout, between 45 minutes and an hour. If you go intense for that 45 minutes, an hour, remember what I said, don't go too hard, but you go intense for that time. Straight after, get your dates in. Dates are amazing to replace the nutrients lost in the workout. Dates, get your smoothie in, get your water, and if you can, get like a squash drink, so juice, water, and a bit of salt, and you replace all the electrolytes, everything that you lost in that workout, and you'll still be able to maintain a level of intensity without hindering your work or even your worship during the Ramadan.
Alhamdulillah. Yeah, no, that's good advice, because at the end of the day, we're trying to optimize our time and our bodies for worship, and fitness is a part of that as well, if we have the right intention. We were talking about that a week or two ago with a brother who does jiu-jitsu, that if you come with the right intention, that exercise that you're doing is not just you get physical benefit, you can also get spiritual benefit and reward from that, because we're looking after our bodies. Our bodies are an amana from Allah. We have to take care of our bodies as well. There's been, the whole intermittent fasting thing is really big now online, social media, and everyone's doing it. Obviously, we've had, alhamdulillah, fasting from day one. It's part of our religion. And some people practice it maybe once a week or twice a week, or the 3 white days in every month. What do you recommend people to do outside of Ramadan? How often do you recommend them to maybe do a level of fasting mixed with exercise?
Well, obviously, as you know, the Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam told us to fast Mondays and Thursdays. And I think that if you do that, you're already going to be in a semi sort of calorie deficit, because for 2 days of the week, you're not really eating that much. That gives you 5 days to exercise. Another way of going around that and maintaining the sort of the lower intake of calories that you would have had during Ramadan is to do, like you said, the intermittent fasting. So a very popular version of the intermittent fasting is the 16-8 protocol, which is you eat for 8 hours and you sort of don't eat, or you just drink water or low calorie drinks for the 16 hours in the day, which essentially is a form of fasting, right? So I think that's something that you can do on a regular basis anyway. If you eat, let's say 12 p.m. to 8 p.m. or any sort of time like that. And then you add to that the 2 days of fasting a week, like the Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, and you'll find that the calories that you would have lost during Ramadan is maintained outside Ramadan, so you can maintain and keep that weight off that you wanted to keep off in the first place.
But you would recommend an element of fasting in our weekly normal routine. I mean, we shouldn't really just be fasting in Ramadan, right? We need to have that part of our weekly, monthly routine, so that every time Ramadan does come around, we're not just, the first couple of days, we're not smashed and having migraines and headaches. The body's acclimatized to that, right?
Definitely. I mean, if you look at the Ramadan, right, if you think about it, we've been told you're not allowed to eat from sunrise to sunset. Now, the last few years, that's been during the summer. Okay, that's been tough in the UK, 18, 19 hours of the day. But you've been able to maintain that and not eat for that whole time. But then when the Ramadan goes, you struggle for 10 minutes, an hour not to eat. Do you see what I'm saying? Then you end up putting all that weight on. So what you should do is, if you can fast, like I said, twice, like the Rasul said, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, twice in a week, you'll become acclimatized and used to feeling hungry, because the aim of food is not to eat till you're full. The aim of food is to eat till you're not hungry anymore. Do you understand? So like the Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, which is the Prophet, right, he said, eat 1/3 water, 1/3 food, and 1/3 air. If you do that and you fast, be it an intermittent fast or the full sort of Monday and Thursday fast, I guarantee you your calorie intake will be low, and you'll either maintain your weight that you've lost during Ramadan, or you'll completely lose weight anyway. Do you see what I'm saying? Just follow the advice of the Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and you'll be successful.
Yeah, inshallah. Now, I've got friends who are on top of their diet, mashallah. They're weighing their food before they eat, and they're measuring their calories, and they know how much intake they need and things like that. I'm not that strict with that, okay? I don't necessarily pig out on bad stuff, but I try to train hard, and then I like to enjoy my food. Just kind of break down for me, what are calories, and are they good? Are they bad? How much do we need generally, like per day? And should we be like measuring our food? I'm not saying the guys that measure it, it's like OTT, that's fine. I mean, they need to do that. But, is it something that we need to really measure, or, how do we kind of calculate enough calories per day?
Okay, so calories is a measurement of energy. Okay, so we as human beings, we have something called an energy balance that we use to maintain our sort of bodily functions, our metabolism, our chemical reactions, okay? So if I have 2 hands and I have my scales, on my left hand is going to be the calories that we have coming into the body, which is the food, the water, anything that we drink or eat, okay? And then on my right hand, we're gonna have calories out, or what we call the calorie output. So I'm gonna break that down into 3 things, okay? The first thing is what we call eat, all right? Or it's got a really cool name, exercise activity thermogenesis, okay? But just call that eat. Then
right.
we have the second one, non-exercise activity thermogenesis, which is NEAT, okay? And then the last one is called TEF, okay? Which is thermic effect of food, okay? So eat is the calories that you burn when you exercise, okay? So when you go out to play football with your friends, or when you go to the gym to lift weights, or a personal training session, this is what we call eat. You intended to go and exercise. This actually doesn't doesn't actually burn most of the calories. That's the misconception. We then go to the next level,
Right.
NEAT, right? So with NEAT, this is where the calories are burned. If you get your NEAT right, then the EAT and the TEF, they come nicely, okay? So the NEAT is when you go out for a walk, if you have a garden, you mow the garden, or if you are cleaning the house, so like you're mowing, you're hoovering, you're sweeping, or just going for a walk. So if you, obviously now it's lockdown, so people aren't really going out, but if you were going out to work, when you walk to the train stop, when you walk to the bus stop, or if you drive, when you go to wherever you need to get to, park further away and walk, all right? That will increase your NEAT because you did not plan to exercise. But that movement is burning calories. Yeah?
Right.
The third is TEF, which is basically when your body digests food, it burns calories. This only accounts for 10% of the amount of your calorie output. So if we can get the calorie output to be higher than the calorie input, we'll get something called a calorie deficit, which leads to weight loss. If they're the same, we call that maintenance. So you will just stay the same. So if you're 100 kilograms on Monday, 2 months down the line, if your output was the same as your input, you will still be 100 kilograms 2 months later. And if you wanted to put on muscle or you wanted to bulk up a little bit, then you would have the output slightly less than your input. And now you're going to be in something called a surplus, which allows you to get bigger. Now, you asked me about, do we need to measure our food? I think measuring the food is useful to an extent, but it can also be not useful. It's useful because if you have a goal and you have a goal weight, or you need to get ready for an activity, so let's say you're a boxer or an actor or jockey, you need to hit a particular weight, then I think it's a good idea to calculate, to measure how much of each food you're putting into your meals, because there's an amount of calories each food has. Does that make sense? You don't want to sort of eyeball it and then you've gone overboard and then you're now complaining you're not getting your goals. However, if you're just a normal person, you just want to lose a bit of weight and you haven't really got the time to sit there and measure out like 10 grams of rice and 15 grams of chicken, that's also fine because it can be quite draining on the mind. All you must think about doing is, for a couple of days, if you make the decision, you know what, I want to reduce my weight. For a couple of days, look at how much food you're putting on your plate, all right? Then you can say, okay, cool, I'm putting in 2 spoons of rice every time I eat. So then the next week, what you do is you say, okay, fine, I'm going to remove 1 spoon, I'm only going to half that. By force, right? By logic, you've now reduced your calories without measuring anything, and you've saved yourself all of that hassle. Do you see what I'm saying? I mean, with cultural food, so like African food, Caribbean food, Asian food, it's quite hard to measure in like how much, tomato am I putting, how much oil am I putting, how much meat. So the key with that, the best thing is literally just reduce the amount you're putting in, reduce the size of your bowl, reduce the size of your plate, and you'll find that your calories will come down and you don't need to worry too much about measuring your food using the scales.
Yeah. So really it's about minimizing and managing portions rather than, number crunching and things like that. So if we normally have a bowl of XYZ, let's take a third of that away. And then that way we are controlling our intake, right?
That's it. Simple as that. Right. Save yourself all that hassle. But it's slightly accurate, but it saves you the hassle. So it depends what you deem more as a priority.
Yeah, but I guess you as a personal trainer, you need to keep track of your clients' calories and their measurements and things like that. So you need to know those numbers, right?
That's correct. Yes. So there's a way we calculate that, right? It's called so we as human beings, back to my scale, my output, and my input, we have something called a TDEE, which is total daily energy expenditure. Okay, which is essentially that output. Yeah, because when just me and you sitting here right now talking, I'm burning calories. Okay, just to keep myself going and alive as a human being.
Really?
Yeah, we're burning calories right now. If the food that I eat is the exact same as what we call BMR, which is the calories I'm burning right now, I'm going to stay the same weight. If it's less, which is what happens during Ramadan, I'm going to lose weight without even exercising. Do you understand what I'm saying? So with my clients, I normally get their height, I get their weight, and I get their age, and I use a tool called the TDEE calculator, which allows me to determine how many calories they would need just to survive, just to be alive and sit there and burn calories. From there, we subtract 500 if we want them to lose weight. If we want them to gain weight, we might add 500. Or if we want them to sort of recomp, which is basically stay the same weight, but change how their body looks, we would keep them at the same weight. Sort of, I'd manipulate that with the weight sessions that I'd have planned for them.
Right. Let's get practical now. I did tell the viewers that we're going to be doing a couple of practical exercises for anyone who's just tuned in or who missed the beginning. You are listening to Fit for Ramadan with myself, Jehad Shamis, on Ramadan Radio, 87.9 FM. We are online at ramadanradio.org and streaming on Facebook. You can call, WhatsApp, text your questions, feedback, or comments on 077 614 60614. That is 077 614 60614. So, Ishmael, right, I haven't got any equipment at home. I don't want to go to the gym. I'm literally in a room, but I want to do some exercise. Can you show us, break down 5 easy, basic exercises that we can do without any equipment?
Okay, no problem. Let me do that for you right now. We'll call it the beginner workout, yeah? Let me just move my bench.
Okay, I'm a beginner. I'm a total beginner.
Okay, no problem. Right, can you see me? You see me?
We can see your body, yeah, but not your face. But yeah, okay, we're good.
There you go. Okay. So we're going to do a lot of these exercises on the floor so you can see what I'm doing. But the first exercise is just a simple squat. If you can see my body, that's perfect because I'm going to be coming down anyway, all right? So the squat, all we're going to do, the squat, I'm going to stand, feet shoulder width apart. If you can see my feet, they're just outside shoulder width. I've turned to the side so you can see what I'm doing with my back. Okay. All I'm going to do, have my hands in front of me, and I'm just going to drive my butt back and sit down in the hole and stand straight back up. Okay, this is the squat. If you've got knee pain or any sort of problems with your legs or your knees and that's giving you problems, no problem. All you would do is you would take a chair or a bench like I've got over here, and you're just going to sit on it. Okay, so what you're going to do, same exact principle, have your hands in front of you, core engaged, take a seat, sit on the bench, come straight back up. Okay, so any knee pain, that's what we're going to do. So that's exercise number 1. Yeah, squats.
Okay.
Now, let's go to
with the squat. Sorry to interrupt. How far down do we go? Is it like a crouch, or is it like we're sitting on a chair?
Okay, so we have two in the fitness industry. There's a lot of arguments. Some say A to G, which they say bum to grass. Others say 90 degrees. Let's say for now, if you can get to 90 or below, happy days. So parallel or below. So the bench, the bench was about 90 degrees or parallel. And if you can get further down and you have the mobility, then get as deep as you can. Okay. So exercise number 2 is for the upper body. We're going to go with push-ups. All I'm going to do, I'm going to come down. I'm going to show you the full version, and then I'm going to show you a regression for the beginners. Okay. So all I'm gonna do, I'm gonna have my body up nice and straight. I'm not gonna have my butt in the air like this, and I'm not gonna have my body sunk like that, okay? Body's gonna be nice and straight, and all I'm going to do is bend my arms, get my chest just above the ground, and straight back up, okay? You're gonna do 10 of those. If you wanted to make that a little bit easier for yourself, not a problem. All we're gonna do is we're gonna be back in that push-up position, and I'm gonna drop my knees. Can you see that? My knees have dropped, and I'm gonna lift my feet up slightly. So it's gonna have the same pressure on my upper body, but I've taken off a lot of the weight of my body through my legs, okay? So all I'm gonna do, exact same thing, push my arms, bend my arms, get down there, hover, straight back up 10 times. Now, let's get to the abs, famous muscle group everyone wants to work on, all right? All I'm gonna do, pardon?
I need a six-pack.
This will get you a six-pack, inshallah.
I need a six-pack.
This will get you a six-pack. So what we're gonna do, can you see me still?
Yeah, got you, yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna lie down here, okay? I'm gonna have my feet just on the ground. Now, this is the beginner version of a six-pack. We're gonna call it a crunch, okay? So I'm gonna lift my feet up, so they're now 90 degrees. Try and keep my legs together. I'm gonna have my hands underneath my head just to support my neck, because sometimes you can get a bit of strain if you leave your neck like that. So you're gonna support your neck, and all you're gonna do is you're just gonna bring your chest and your upper body off the ground and come straight back down. Nice and easy crunches, okay?
Right.
Now, that's 3, right? We've got 2 more. Now we're gonna do a bit of a cardiovascular exercise.
Yep.
We're gonna get the heart rate going now, okay? So I'm going to be back in my original push-up position. I have got a regression as well, so don't worry. I'm gonna be back in my push-up position. I'm going to have my body straight. Yep. I'm not gonna have my bum in the air, and I'm not gonna have my body sagged, okay? It's gonna be nice and straight. All I'm gonna do is bring my knee up to my chest, you see that? And I'm gonna bring it back up again, okay? So I'm just gonna maintain that, and I'm gonna do that as fast as I can, all right? So that's the mountain climber. Now, if you're struggling with the mountain climber, being in that position and keeping your body nice and flat, no problem. What we're gonna do is we're gonna get our bench out again, okay? Our bench, our table, our sofa, whatever you have your bed, okay? What I'm gonna do, let me just turn that slightly. I'm gonna have my hands on my bench and try and maintain that same straight body. If that's tough, no problem. We just bring our legs up. All we're gonna do is just run. Same again. I'm still doing my mountain climbers, all right? Now, final exercise. Yeah. This is a bonus one. Just make it a little bit tougher for you guys now. Now we've got the legs, we've got the abs, we've got the upper body, got a bit of cardio. Let's finish it. So we're gonna go 2 versions, okay? We're gonna go the world famous star jump, or the Americans call it the jumping jack. Very simple. Gonna start in this position over here, get my hands out. Your task is to get between 100 and 200 as fast as you can. If you find that, if you find that the jumping jack is easy, then this is your bonus, okay? This is now to make it a little bit harder, all right? All we're gonna do, we're gonna start off like a little flower, down like so, little flower, and what I'm gonna do from here, explode out of my flower, boom. So we call that explosive star jumps, okay? Your job is to get 50 as fast as you can. That's your 5 exercises for a nice little home workout without any equipment.
I'm already sweating, and I haven't even done anything. I'm just watching you do that, and I'm out of breath. No, mashallah, jazakallah, that's excellent. I think those are a perfect. No one's got really an excuse, no matter what ability you have or injuries or conditions. I think there's always something that you can adapt. The press up, you can adapt. Your sit ups, your crunches to do something. But the important thing is that we need to do something, right?
That's right. That's exactly it. You have to. There's no excuses, man. I mean, I've got clients that are that's like 60. Do you know what I mean? And she's active.
Wow.
She's out there walking regularly. We do our weightlifting sessions. So I don't think age is a limiting factor when it comes to exercise. I don't think gender, I don't think religion, sexuality, none of these things are a limiting factor when it comes to exercise. You just need a small space that you can move, and that's it. If you can lie down, you can exercise.
That's it. Yeah. Let's talk a little bit about, although we've only got a few days left of Ramadan, but good iftar and bad iftar, and good suhoor and bad suhoor. What are the things to focus on in terms of food, and what are the things to avoid?
Okay, so you know, normally when it's iftar time, we think samosa, kebabs, chapati, all of this, huh? No,
yeah.
so,
bring it on.
that's what we want the Ramadan for. Huh? Healthy iftar would be, obviously, as the Rasul said, the dates. You know, there's so much energy in dates. You know, last couple of weeks I've been doing some sessions after iftar, and literally I just have one date, single date, and I'm going for an hour and a half straight. No tiredness, no nothing. I'm bombing up and down running. Okay, so dates are your best friend. Try to stick to 1 to about 5. 5 is on the higher side. So 3 is 1 and 3, perfect. And then after that, you want to follow that with some soup. Okay, get some nutrients in you, get some vegetables. Okay, we need to replace some of that water that we've lost and get some fruits. Really good fruits, watermelon, berries, you know, apples, pears. Get that down. You get the nutrients that you've lost during the fast, especially if you've worked out in the day. Make sure you're replacing those nutrients that you lost. Water. Yeah, make sure you're drinking, because I mean, you know, someone that's 200 pounds, which is just under 100 kg, you know, about in the 90s, you would need about 3 liters of water to just maintain everything that you've lost in during the day. Okay, so make sure you're drinking.
That's a lot of water.
Exactly, right? So make sure you're drinking your water during iftar and suhoor. So if you go to the Tarawih prayer, make sure you're just sipping along the salat. Make sure you're sipping the water and taking that in. Take what you can though. Don't sort of overdo it. And then, you know, you can just stick to the foods that are whole foods. Stick to as natural food as you can. Try and stay away from processed salty foods, sausages, chips, pizzas, samosas, all of these type of things. I mean, you can have it once in a while, just as you would do if it wasn't Ramadan. You don't want to have it after the fast, because you know what? Sometimes you think, oh, well, you know, I've fasted, I've not eaten anything all day. I can eat a pizza, I can eat a chip, I can eat some chips, I can eat a burger. But you might have forgotten that during the fast, because you didn't exercise, or because you were fasting, you said, no, I'm not gonna move around. So now you've sat down all day, or you've lied down all day, and you now come and eat that pizza, or you now eat those fries, you eat that samosa, the kebab, and now you're putting on weight. You're like, why? I'm not eating anything all day, but you're not really, you know, keeping those calories as low as you could, because you're going really high during the iftar time. And the best thing to remember is after iftar, don't fill up, just a little bit, because what happens, some people, they fill up and they fall asleep. That's it, they're gone for the night. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's right, they knock out.
That's right. Just eat till you're not hungry anymore, and that's it. Don't go overboard. I know some of our parents, our families, they want us to just keep eating, but just tell them, look, I'm struggling. You know, let them understand, and then you'll be fine. You'll be fine. Suhoor, personally, I like to keep my suhoor very small. I like to just kind of go for the dates. Watermelon is like my best friend. I mean, I struggle to fill all that water up, so I just munch the watermelon and I'm getting in my water. And that's it, really. I mean, I stick to my proteins as well, so like my eggs and my chicken. Sometimes I have a protein shake if I'm in a rush. But that's really what I stick to, and a banana. In suhoor time, I have a banana as well. These are the things I would stick to during suhoor and iftar. After Ramadan, then you can kind of play around a little bit more. You got a bit more flexibility as you're more active during the day.
Yeah. Now, I've heard somewhere that, you know, last year I had a knee injury, so I wasn't able to train as much. So you naturally put on weight. So I was trying to balance that out, and I was experimenting with a keto diet. Now, we're not going to go fully into keto, but I was getting advice on other people who had tried it, and they said that part of keto is that you can actually have a lot of fat. And they were saying you don't get fat by eating fat. in your experience, is that true? And can you just briefly break that down, what that means? Because we normally would think, well, if I'm having, like cream or, fatty stuff, I'm immediately going to get fat. But they're saying that's not how the body works.
Okay. So in the fitness industry, this is like a sort of ongoing kind of discussion, debate, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, no, I'm sure it's a big controversial topic, but we just want to just touch on it just very, very briefly.
Yeah. So what it is there's no one diet that is completely wrong, nor is it completely right, because like we said before, calories determine whether you put on weight or you don't put on weight. If you have too many calories, your body will store that, all right? And once that's stored, that is what turns out to be excess weight. Okay, so whether you eat loads of carbohydrates or whether you eat loads of protein or whether you eat loads of fat, if the calories are below what you need to survive, okay, or below your calorie output, you're going to lose weight. So any diet from that perspective works, okay? Now the keto diet, I wouldn't say I'm 100% a fan of it, but I'm also not 100% critical of it, because I find that some people, their behaviors are different. Some people do better when they have low carb, i.e. essentially ketogenic diets. They fare better because they find that, they might have a sweet tooth. So if they have one piece of bread, they need to have two. Then they have to have three, so they kind of go overboard and then they put on the calories. But if they have sort of a ketogenic diet, they kind of cut that weight down because they're not going overboard with those carbohydrates. But overall, I don't think that one diet is wrong or correct. I think it's based on each individual person. Some people it works for, some people it doesn't work for.
Cool. Tell us a little bit. We're wrapping up in about 5 minutes or so. How do people get into the PT industry if they want to be a PT? And tell us a little bit about sisters as well. This is something that maybe we don't always talk too much about, but have you come across sisters who are PTs like yourself? And, I would assume their clientele base is mainly more centered around women and sisters. Is that right?
Yeah. So to get into the PT or the fitness or personal training industry, you can go and do one of these courses. There's a range of courses. Some courses are 4 weeks, some courses are 16 weeks, some courses are a year long. Or you can go and do a sports science degree. But the main thing is you need a qualification, which is level 2 gym instructor, fitness instructor, and then level 3 personal training. Once you get that, you can go out into the public and train people. Once you've got your insurance as well, you can also go down an apprentice route. So in my time at the gym, I met a couple of apprentices as well who were learning on the job how to be a personal trainer as well. And then from there, if you've got an interest and a love for a specific type or part of the fitness sort of game, then go for it, whether it's sports or weight loss, bodybuilding, whatever you like, go for it and go wholeheartedly. In regards to the sisters, I don't know many from a face-to-face value, but I know many on Instagram. I know many on social media that are out there. I do know one sister that actually wants to be a personal trainer, but I do feel like that's something that's lacking. Muslim sisters that are training people. And I feel like the sisters, because of that, they want to train with a sister, they haven't got anyone to train with. So they're in this sort of limbo. So I encourage the sisters to go out there, do these courses and help the community.
I think, there's, one thing we can't deny, everyone needs to maintain their health and be healthy. We don't always have the knowledge or know how to do it ourselves. So hence people like yourself are really filling an important gap in the community and doing a great service. And if that can be a livelihood for you, then all the better. But like so many other things, and it's no fault or blame on the sisters at all. It's just sometimes they don't have those opportunities or those facilities to become a personal trainer or to do the course, et cetera, et cetera. So I think that's definitely something where as a community, we need to work towards and giving more chances and opportunities to sisters to come up and become personal trainer. Because I think in that way, a lot of women generally, older, younger, will maybe start taking up fitness as well. If they know that there's a sister they can trust and rely on and they're more comfortable with, then it might be something that will encourage them to get more fit, and this will obviously raise the level of fitness in the community, as a whole. Very quickly, just 1 or 2 minutes. What is the importance of sleep with our diet and with our food? How important is sleep?
Okay, so sleep is where the muscles are grown, man. So if you're not sleeping, your muscles they're not gonna grow because you need to recover. You need to sleep. It's not your muscles don't grow when you lift weights. They need time to rebuild themselves after you've torn them apart. It also helps you in controlling your appetite. Okay, so there's a hormone or a called leptin, which if you have less sleep, it tends to spike. And once that spikes, you find out that you're eating more foods. It's not because you are more hungry, but because you're more tired. So sleep is your best friend. If you can sleep 8 hours a day, perfect. Some people, they can't do that. No problem. Try and get a nap in the middle of the day, 20 minutes, 30 minutes, 40 minutes, whatever you can do. Try and sleep and get as much of that as possible, because that's the real key to achieving your goals. That recovery. That's just as important as lifting the weights, just as important as eating.
For sure. Alhamdulillah, we want to get wrapped up in time, so we're not delaying the next program. Ishmael, I'd like to thank you for coming on the show. I want everyone to check him online. I think it's I Am Fitness on Instagram. Is that right? Is that correct?
Yeah. I Am Fitness Ltd.
Yeah, I Am Fitness. That's it. Check him out on there, inshallah. And we just want to very quickly finish with the short hadith that we have, where the Prophet ﷺ said, the most beloved deeds to Allah are the most regular and constant, even if they are small. So I think our takeaway from this series of Fit for Ramadan is, let's try and maintain our level of fitness or diet, etc., even if it's in small steps, but try and keep it consistent, inshallah. I'd like to thank everyone for attending the show, for listening in, and we pray that these last few days are filled with barakah for everyone, inshallah. And we pray all the best for you, Ishmael, for your work, for I Am Fitness, all the success, inshallah. Again, we want to direct people to check him out online, and we hope to see everyone next Ramadan, inshallah ta'ala. And we make dua for the ummah. Things are going on in Palestine. It's a real big mess over there, but Allah protect the ummah and give everyone answer everyone's du'as, inshallah, in these last couple of days. Jazakallah khair. Thank you for everyone, and take care, inshallah. Assalamu alaikum.